Am I the asshole for bringing up my brother's premature birth at Christmas dinner just to get my parents to shut up? Let me set the scene for you. I'm a nurse practitioner, and a lot of my work revolves around maternity care. I work with doctors and midwives to help create healthy, positive experiences for expecting parents, from pregnancy all the way through postpartum. My fiancée is just finishing up her medical residency. We've lived together for a few years now, and honestly, we haven't been in a huge rush to get married. Life just got incredibly busy. We had plans a couple of years back, but our careers took over. Now, this situation drives my very religious parents absolutely bonkers. I'm their youngest son, and in their eyes, I'm living in sin. I've told them time and time again that I'm an adult. I make my own choices, and their opinion on my living situation isn't going to change anything. We are actually getting married this coming June, but that doesn't seem to be enough for them, so this Christmas, the whole family gathered at my parents' house. It was a full house. My folks, my 3 older siblings with their spouses, their 7 kids, plus me and my fiancé. That's 17 people crammed into one space. The atmosphere was festive, at least for a while. Then came dinner. My mom decided it was the perfect time to announce how relieved she was that we were finally getting married. She said she wouldn't have to be embarrassed at church anymore. As if that wasn't enough, my dad chimed in, saying how proud he was of his 3 older kids. Why? Because they all either waited until marriage to move in together or got married immediately. After, the subtext was painfully clear. I looked over at my fiancée, and she was visibly uncomfortable, her face turning red. I could feel my own anger rising. We've had this exact same argument with my parents more times than I can count. But doing this in front of the entire family at Christmas dinner of all places was the last straw for me. I've pleaded with them repeatedly to just accept that they can't control my life. It's the reason I always book a hotel when I visit, even if I'm alone. It's just easier to have that boundary. But this time, I decided I wasn't going to just sit there and take it. An idea sparked in my mind. So, I smoothly changed the subject. I started talking about a fascinating case I'd been reading about, a baby born almost 3 months premature, weighing only about 1.6 pounds. I described how this tiny baby was incredibly strong and healthy for its size, and how the NICU team had high hopes for its future. As I was talking, I watched my parents. Their expressions shifted completely. They both got these wide, deer-in-the-headlights looks. It was like a switch had been flipped. I knew I had them. They shouldn't have messed with my fiancé's feelings. So, I pressed on. Speaking of premature births, I said, it reminds me of my oldest brother. Wasn't he born super early? Almost 4 months premature, right? I then asked if we could maybe pull out the old family album after dinner, the one where all the birth records and family history are kept. I feigned curiosity, wanting to check the details. Here's the thing, I already knew the truth. My grandmother, bless her heart, had spilled the beans the very first time my parents tried to shame me about my life choices. She told me all about my premature older brother. He wasn't premature at all. He was born weighing over 9 pounds and was almost 23 inches long. A very, very healthy preemie. The moment I suggested looking at the album, you could have heard a pin drop. The subject of our living arrangements was dropped faster than a hot potato. The conversation immediately veered into safer, more neutral territory. The rest of the dinner was actually quite pleasant. Later that evening, after the guests had left and things had quieted down, my parents pulled me aside. They were not happy. They told me I had no right to embarrass them like that, bringing up private things that are not my concern in their own home. I looked them straight in the eye and laid down my ultimatum. I told them that if I ever heard one more word, one more hint, one more passive-aggressive comment about my living arrangements for the rest of my life, I would make it a point to keep bringing up the undisputed fact that my mother was well into her second trimester when she and my dad got married. They're furious with me. They feel I disrespected them and told them how to behave in their own house. But on the other hand, my fiancée is thrilled. She said she's never felt so defended, and she's happy that the subject finally seems to be off the table for good. It seems my little Christmas revelation might have bought us some permanent peace. So, now I'm turning it over to you. I took a pretty drastic step to shut down a conversation that has been plaguing us for years. I exposed a family secret to stop the shaming. Was I the asshole for doing that? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for listening.